I'm gonna ask you a simple question. I want you to listen to me. Who's the big winner here tonight at the casino? Mikey, that's who. Mikey's the big winner. Mikey wins.
Just said no in the first one. I don't know why I didn't call.
You know what? It's her fault she got hurt. You shouldn't even feel bad about it. She should have expected it from you.
Hey, you beautiful babies. It's movie night at the Silver Age Cinema. Tonight we got Swingers and The Breakup. We're dealing with dating's highs and lows. But first... In Los Angeles, Mike is a comedian chasing the dream of breaking into show business. But after a rough breakup, he's stuck in a slump, uncertain about his career and too nervous to start over. His best friend Trent takes him out on a road trip to Las Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Betting on a change of scene to turn his luck around.
This happens to be a $100 minimum bet table. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at one of our lower stakes tables.
But even with the bright lights and high stakes, Mike discovers that the hardest gamble is finding the confidence to put himself back in the game. This story is about friendship, about chasing dreams, and Mike realizing he's been money all along.
I don't want you to be the guy in the PG-13 movie everyone's really hoping makes it happen. I want you to be like the guy in the rated R movie.
Doug Liman shapes Swingers with a laid-back, fly-on-the-wall style that makes the nights out feel real. Before Swingers, Liman was hustling on tiny indie projects, but this was the movie that put him on the map. Later, he redefined modern action with The Bourne Identity, a thriller that changed film fight scenes. On Swingers, he kept it raw and scrappy, sneaking into real bars without permits, that guerrilla energy that gave the film its edge. Jon Favreau brings Mike to life, playing that PG-13 guy that we're all hoping will make it happen. Before this, he had a small role in PCU, a rowdy college comedy, and later he would go on to direct Iron Man, the blockbuster that launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Favreau not only starred in Swingers, but he also wrote the script, pulling from his own struggles as a struggling actor in LA, making the film feel painfully, hilariously authentic. Vince Vaughn nails Trent, playing that rated R guy we're not sure we like yet. Before this, he appeared in Rudy, a scrappy underdog football story, and later made Wedding Crashers, the raunchy comedy that cemented him as a star. Vaughn's motor mouth delivery came naturally. Here he is talking about the movie.
It was funny because John wrote the script, and a lot of the jokes and funny lines that I had said in real life were in the movie. So a lot of the expressions and things that are in the film was stuff that I used to say just joking around with him. But yeah, the character was sort of based on an experience of John. Did go through a breakup when he moved to town. And I definitely took him out. That was the neighborhood I hung out in. I used to love to go see those old big bands and swing bands and all those places where I lived in that area. So those were the places I would go to. A lot of the ex-punk bands started playing swing music. It was incredible to go see these 15-piece bands play original swing music. So I definitely took John to those neighborhoods and out to those places. And then with girls and stuff, I was encouraging to him about, dating and this kind of stuff in a positive way. That stuff was all true, but then for a comedy, it's, over-exaggerated. Not everything that happens in the movie was what happened in real life.
Ron Livingston delivers as Rob, the grounded buddy who tries to keep Mike from spiraling too far. Before this, he showed up in Straight Talk, a Dolly Parton rom-com, and later starred in Office Space, the cult workplace satire. On Swingers, Livingston wasn't even in the original script. He was Favreau's real-life roommate, and Linden cast him after seeing the natural chemistry he had with the group. Heather Graham plays Lorraine, the beautiful baby Mike needs after all his heartbreak. Before this, she had charmed in License to Drive, a teen comedy, and later turned heads in Boogie Nights, a bold 70s porn drama. Even in her brief role, being the only familiar face at the time gave the movie a touch of legitimacy that helped it stand out.
What the hell?
Okay, kids, I know you're probably thinking, what the hell is that machine? It's an answering machine, and it was used to record your messages.
Michael, this is Grandma. Will you all miss you back here in New York.
It wasn't used for relationship advice.
She doesn't deserve you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Back to my review. Swingers is pure 90s cool, a time capsule of the cocktail nation when swing dancing, martinis, and big band were back in style. Written by Jon Favreau, it's semi-autobiographical and painfully relatable. The kind of script that feels like it was ripped straight out of Heartbreak and Late Night Hangs. Me and my friends quoted this one non-stop. The mood is slick and smoky, set to big band and swing cuts that range from Sinatra to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. It's obvious Favreau and Vince's real-life friendship powers the chemistry here.
Now, the trick is that we gotta look like we don't need this shit, and then they give us the shit for free. Well, you know, I think you look great, man, and I think I'm looking like the money, like the bomb.
Vaughn's fast-talking energy steals scene after scene, while Favreau grounds it with vulnerability. Director Doug Liman took a shoestring indie budget and made it feel elevated, even cinematic, borrowing a little Scorsese swagger and Tarantino rhythm along the way. Sure, it's a bros movie. Women don't get much to do, but it nails the vibe of what it feels like to start over, hustle through reject, and lean on your crew. What makes Swingers stick, that mix of cool music, scrappy indie energy, and dialogue that somehow feels both stylized and real. It's one of my top 10 movies of all time for a reason. My enjoyment rating for this swing-era Hollywood movie is an A.
I'm telling you, you're money.
You're so fucking money.
In Chicago, Brooke and Gary look like the perfect couple.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
Until one fight pushes their whole relationship to the breaking point. Neither wants to give up their beautiful condo, so they dig in.
The only logical thing that I can think of is for her to move out of the condo and then to pay me some sort of a penalty.
What? Excuse me?
Turning everyday life into a standoff. As friends and family pick sides and the arguments get sharper, the lines between love and resentment start to blur. What begins as a breakup quickly becomes a battle over space, dignity, and who will finally make the first move. In a city full of options, the hardest part isn't finding someone new, it's letting go of the person you can't quite walk away from. Peyton Reed steers the breakup with a sharp mix of comedy and discomfort. Before this, he directed Down with Love, a retro rom-com homage, and later made Ant-Man, a playful Marvel caper. On the breakup, Reed leaned into improv, letting Vince and Jennifer spar on the camera, which gave the film its raw, uncomfortable edge that felt more real than most rom-coms. Vince Vaughn is back and plays Gary as a stubborn, sarcastic guy who turns every fight into a comedy routine. Before this, he starred in Dodgeball, a true underdog story, a sports comedy, and later took on a darker turn in Brawl in Cell Block 99, a brutal crime thriller. Vaughn co-wrote The Breakup, and here he is with some thoughts on the movie.
You know, it's always kind of the same motor. These guys, whatever, then the guy goes and apologizes, and the girl takes him back, and they end up happily ever after. And so I thought, well, how about two people that really love each other, but they just don't have the skills yet, either of them, to make the relationship work. I had found in my own life that sometimes you could really like someone, but neither of you are either ready to be in something more serious, or you just don't have the maturity or the skills to handle situations, and you can end up kind of ruining the relationship. I had played a lot of characters at the time that were kind of fun, but I really was driving to have this film where the guy wasn't confident or mature enough to address things well, but you could tell his heart was in the right place. And then the girl would be a little gamey. She wasn't totally mature either. It's sort of both of their fault. She's manipulating the situation more than one should. They're both somewhat immature.
Jennifer Aniston plays Brooke, bringing sharp timing and real vulnerability to a woman stuck in a crumbling relationship. Before this, she became a household name with Friends, that hit sitcom, and later starred in Marley and Me, a bittersweet comedy drama. Off-screen, her chemistry with Vince Vaughn sparked into a real-life romance during filming, which only added fuel to the movie's tension. Joey Lauren Adams plays Addie, bringing her trademark raspy charm as the sister trying to keep the peace. Before this, she made a splash in Chasing Amy, a sharp indie rom-com, and later appeared in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, where she reprised her Chasing Amy character. She joked in interviews that she took the role partly just to finally work on something her family back home would actually watch. Vincent D'Onofrio plays Dennis, Gary's blunt older brother who keeps the family business running. Before this, he turned heads in Full Metal Jacket, Stanley Kubrick's brutal war drama, and later anchored Law & Order: Criminal Intent, a long-running police procedure. Even with limited screen time, he managed to make Dennis feel like the one adult in the room, which only made Gary look more reckless.
What the hell?
Tap, tap, tapping. Tap, tap, tapping.
What the hell exactly is going on here?
Good, Mom.
I was raised in a Hispanic family.
On the kick drum. Come, come.
But is this how white people dinners go?
Gary. Move yourself. You always live your life, never thinking.
Anyway, back to my review. 2006, The Breakup isn't your standard rom-com. It's an anti-romantic comedy. You get the happy montage up front, and then the gloves come off, and it's raw and it's messy and way too real at times. The fights feel authentic enough that you might squirm a little, and the movie never really lets you pick a clear side. Vince Vaughn is in full motor-mouth smart aleck mode, bouncing sharp lines off of Jennifer Aniston, who more than holds her own. Their chemistry works on screen, and it gives the whole thing an edge that feels less Hollywood and more like eavesdropping on a couple you know. Add in some gorgeous Chicago scenery and a supporting cast that pops in with laughs at the right moments, and you got a movie that swings between broad comedy and surprisingly heavy drama.
Shoe. Was it a smaller shoe?
Baby shoe.
Smaller shoe.
Shoes.
Baby shoes. Baby shoes. Smaller. Draw something different. It was said shoe 7 times.
Just sock, asshole.
It's uneven for sure, but that's also what makes it stick. It doesn't sugarcoat relationships. It digs into how ugly they can get once the honeymoon glow fades. Not perfect, but definitely memorable. My enjoyment rating for this messy, brutally funny movie is a B+.
What my baby wants, my baby gets. You know that.
Thanks for stopping by, even though I know nobody's made it this far.
Baby, don't talk that way.
I make these end credits and nobody cares.
Baby, look at me. Look at me. Your money, you know what else? You're a big winner tonight.
Thanks, buddy. And if you want to be a big winner too, click on one of these links. And we'll see you next time at the Silver Age Cinema.